In the personal story segment tonight, President Obama and Russian President Vladimir Putin have had a rocky relationship. First, Russia thumbed its nose at us over granting asylum to Uber leaker Edward Snowden. And now the Russian president has become the world leader arguing the loudest against a military strike in Syria. But today, the dueling leaders tried to play nice at the G20 summit.
The conversation lasted for probably 20 minutes. It was a very friendly conversation. We stick to our guns. Everybody remained with his position. We understand each other. We listen to each other. We understand arguments.
Last night we had a good discussion, and I want to give President Putin credit that he facilitated, I think, a full airing of views on the issue.
So who has the upper hand in a high-stakes game of diplomacy here on the world stage now? Here now with us is the Heritage Foundation's Niall Gardner. Niall, well, the only thing missing was like kind of the hearts above there, you know, a little fluttering. I mean, they were trying to make this look good, but what came out of this? And in the end, who looks like they have a stronger, firmer grip on this?
Well, I don't think this was a very good day for Barack Obama. In fact, I think this was a very bad day for him. After all, he did not secure today the international coalition that he so badly needs to support military action. And let's face it, President Obama has implemented a policy of appeasement towards the Russians for the last 4.5 years. And where has that got the United States today? I think that Vladimir Putin, frankly, walked all over Barack Obama today, and this was a rather humiliating day for the president. And of course, he's advancing a policy on the world stage that most key U.S. allies don't actually support. Only the French so far have signed up to military action alongside President Obama.
They made a big deal today, the White House, about this coalition letter that they released, which was included, you know, France, Canada, some other countries, about how we believe that chemical weapons obviously are bad and there should be a strong reaction, international reaction. But there was no understanding or agreement about military force. So
yes.
While that letter was all well and good, what the heck did that really represent?
Yeah, exactly. 10 members of the G20 signed up to a statement basically condemning Assad's brutal regime and also calling for strong consequences. What they did not do, of course, was support Obama's call for a military intervention. And so President Obama did not actually achieve what he set out to achieve in Russia. And this was actually a bit of an embarrassment for the president. So far as Grand International Coalition has Barack Obama and François Hollande, the socialist French president. Compare that with President Bush's 40-country-strong coalition
that they ridiculed,
that went into Iraq. That was ridiculed by the
everyone.
left. But President Bush, I think, was a real professional on the world stage. He wasn't necessarily greatly loved. He was also respected by America's allies.
Isn't that ironic now when you look back on all the criticism of Bush? And look, I had plenty of it for the way things ended up in Iraq and so forth. But they kept saying about Bush, oh, it was my way or the highway. You know, he was a cowboy. And what did Putin's people do this week? They called Barack Obama the cowboy, reaching for his Colt revolver. And, and so they brought all that language back. And it's like, it's head spinning after the apology tour, the reset button, the failed translation of that, and the flexibility. Where's all that flexibility he promised Medvedev last year or the year before?
Well, you know, the reality is that President Obama looks awfully weak. He looks like an amateur
Is it naive?
On the world stage.
Is he not smart? Is he? He's smart, obviously. That's not fair. But is he hopelessly naive? Does he believe his personality will transcend nationalist interests on the part of China and Russia?
I think it's a combination of all of those, actually, Laura. I do think he is naive on many fronts. He's a very ineffective leader. He's someone who doesn't command respect abroad. He certainly doesn't instill fear into the hearts of America's enemies. And at the moment, he's trying to be a war leader. But he doesn't come across, frankly, as General Patton on the world stage.
I think of Reagan with Gorbachev at Reykjavik. I think I was still working at the White House as a young little speechwriter back then, and him coming out of that meeting with Gorbachev, and Reagan was steely and his back strong. He walked out. People didn't know what happened. It turns out He wasn't going to agree to these concessions that all the elites in Washington wanted him to agree to, and it ended up better off for the United States.
Yes, well, Reagan was a real leader. He's someone who projected strong American global leadership. Barack Obama is exactly the opposite, actually. He just projects sheer weakness, dithering, indecisiveness. He is, by all accounts, yeah, he's a bit like a French leader, really, and I think
that's why they're getting along so well.
You know, that's why he gets on so well with François Hollande, who really is a clueless French president.
Dr. Gardner, good to see you.